Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're actually taking a peek behind the curtain at the invisible architecture of modern news processing. I mean, how do you take a totally chaotic flood of automated global search queries and somehow turn them into a polished regional story? Well, today we are going to break down the exact mechanics of how that happens, step by step.
So everything really hinges on one fundamental question. How do we bridge raw data with regional synthesis? Think about the absolute sheer volume of information being generated every single second. We've got breaking news happening simultaneously all over the map, weather emergencies, sports, politics, civil deadlines, you name it. The core challenge here is capturing all that fragmented, fast-moving data, making sense of it, and then fundamentally transforming it into a unified, localized output that actually resonates with a specific regional audience. It is definitely not just a simple copy and paste job, I can tell you that for sure. It's a meticulously structured workflow that requires a really solid bridge. And today, we're going to walk right across that bridge and see how it's built.
To truly understand this workflow, we've got to start right at the beginning. Phase 1, the daily news targets. Because, before any sort of synthesis can actually happen, the system needs a mission.
The exact verbatim system prompt we're dealing with here says, "I've started a search for the latest information." This phrase is the literal trigger. The system isn't just passively sitting around waiting for news to fall into its lap. It's proactively out there hunting. It's been deployed to scan, filter, and gather the absolutely most current information available on its assigned topics.
And what exactly is it hunting for today? Well, we have 5 incredibly diverse breaking news targets. We're tracking the devastating Assam flood crisis, which is unfortunately displacing thousands. We're following the latest CBI charge sheet escalating around the nationwide NEET paper leak. We are also keeping a very close eye on India's big medal prospects with Neeraj Chopra at the Commonwealth Games. Plus, there's an urgent red alert for heavy rains pounding Gujarat right now. And, to top it all off, we've got the looming nationwide income tax return filing deadline. That is a massive, wild mix of events, right? From environmental emergencies to huge athletic achievements to civil paperwork. And that crazy variety is exactly why a highly structured workflow is absolutely crucial to make sense of the whole shebang. All right, so once those targets are acquired, we move right along into Phase 2, the human-in-the-loop workflow. Let's see how this raw, chaotic data actually gets processed.
This whole crucial intersection goes down in the sources panel. You can basically think of this as a digital quarantine zone or a staging area. When the automated system scoops up breaking info on the NEET leak or those intense Gujarat rains, it doesn't just bypass everything and jump into the final product. Nope, it lands right here, freezing in place, waiting for a manual review.
The chronology here is super important. Step 1 is that automated search we just talked about. But then, the machine literally hits the brakes. Step 2 requires an actual, real-life human to manually review those findings, and Step 3 requires them to manually hit import. The system is completely frozen, waiting for this human safeguard to ensure that only the real, verified, accurate facts actually move forward into the final synthesis engine.
And the exact second that manual import is executed, boom, we shift gears into Phase 3, Destination Kannada. This is where the final transformation really begins.
The contrast between where we start and where we finish is just night and day. For our input state, we have unrefined, raw English data just sitting idle pending review in the sources panel. But our output state, it's a polished, fully synthesized explainer generated in Kannada. The human in the loop is the sole bridge connecting a completely scattered list of facts about the ITR deadline or javelin throws into a cohesive regional presentation that actually flows. Now here's the real kicker. This output relies entirely on localized synthesis, not just translation. Getting this right is absolutely vital to understanding how sophisticated this process really is. If the system merely spat out a lazy, word-for-word, literal translation of those 5 distinct news queries, it would sound totally robotic and disjointed to the viewer. True synthesis means weaving all those disparate facts, from Assam's floods down to the Commonwealth Games, into a smooth, continuous narrative that feels completely native and culturally resonant to the Kannada-speaking audience.
And that essentially wraps up our workflow journey, leaving us with one final, pretty provocative question. Are your sources imported yet? Because listen, the automated engine is incredibly powerful and the synthesis is totally seamless. But at the end of the day, it remains entirely dependent on your initiation. It puts you firmly in the driver's seat. So what are you waiting for? Thank you so much for joining me for today's Explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.